What was the weirdest thing you've seen someone fake for attention? One of my classmates got an asthma attack and everyone was flocking over to them to make sure they were okay. On the other side of the room, another one of my classmates also got an asthma attack. Even though it was common knowledge that she didn't have asthma, there were very few people in class that had asthma, and we all knew just in case it was an emergency. They faked the hard breathing and exaggerated gasps. It was weird that someone would do something like that just so they would have attention.
A kid in elementary school faked a speech impediment so she'd keep getting out of class for speech therapy. Initially it was real, but speech therapy had totally cured it. She just didn't want anyone to know. One of the words she mispronounced was yellow. She would say, lello instead. One day we were on the playground together and she said, "I'm gonna tell you a secret." She leaned over and whispered in my ear, "Yellow you," with a hard Y at the beginning. Then she laughed and said, "Don't tell anyone." So I didn't, until just now.
When I was in middle school, a girl who was a senior at the high school died. This girl in my class said it was her cousin. She even broke down crying in class, shaking, hyperventilating, etc. It turns out it was not her cousin. In fact, she never even met or knew of her till she died.
That Instagram idiot that licked the public toilet then lied about getting COVID.
One of our senators is the lunatic daughter of a late she never finished college, but keeps insisting that she graduated from Princeton, as well as one of the top law schools in our country. She doesn't show any paperwork, photos, degrees, diplomas, or records of any kind. She just insists it's true despite it being the easiest thing in the world to debunk, as it was, over and over through a simple email or phone call to the schools in question. Her bizarre, elaborate statements to dodge simple yes, no questions about her academic credentials have become somewhat of a meme.
My grandmother faked a heart attack because she and my dad got into an argument at Thanksgiving. Grandfather was so embarrassed.
People who fake cancer. Especially to make money. Like beep you man, my life is beep and you just make harder for people like me who really do need help.
Being possessed by their dead aunt.
There was this one dude, Jake, hated it when the attention wasn't on him. This was roughly 12 years ago, but once after a party ended he was deemed too drunk. He had a beer and 2 shots of sour pucker liquor. He stayed the night then pretended to sleep and that he was a soldier during Nam and was running all over the place with his eyes closed. One of his buddies ended up tossing a bucket of water on Jake, but that didn't wake him up. That same buddy tackled Jake before he ran outside to make a scene and that magically woke him up. Whenever there were get-togethers he would saying he's gonna hurt himself when people weren't interacting with him. People stopped paying attention cause he would say it every single time, and when he realized it he'd start throwing a tantrum that everyone hates him and that he has no friends so no one would care. I responded, "The police will care. Let me call them." He stopped that act real quick.
A girl in my year at school faked a miscarriage and went round telling everybody that a guy from her class fingered her and he must have had some cum on his hands because she got pregnant and lost it. The guy had an alibi, his friends confirmed he was playing football with them, and a lot of people called her a dirty slut. Being fingered on a Friday evening and losing the baby on Saturday is quite impressive. She got attention, but I think she was expecting sympathetic attention and it backfired spectacularly.
Seen a girl fake a seizure. It was very unsettling.
We all knew the kid that claimed their eyes changed colors based on their mood. Lol.
A girl in my class faked a seizure after someone got injured in baseball practice. She loved the attention. Her seizure magically came to a halt when I suggested we call 999.
A lot of teens on TikTok, Twitter, and Tumblr like to pretend to have did.
A girl I knew pretended to be pregnant because her best friend was pregnant at the time. Then she got her period in class and pretended it was a miscarriage to not get caught.
In year 7, this kid always pretended to be high so he would seem cool in front of everyone. I'm pretty sure he'd never done any drugs of any kind since all he did was act like he was seeing stuff LMAO. Eventually he told everyone he was smoking weed in school and the headmaster called his parents and he got in beep.
Cousin faked choked on candy, started to cry after I performed the Heimlich once.
As an American, seeing those football players just fall over and start screaming when another player brushed past is just weird. I've heard various explanations for it, but it's just a really weird thing to do as a pro athlete.
A friend of my classmate faked her death once. My classmate went on for 5 years believing that her friend was dead. Turns out, the girl was just in prison. Her grandparents, who she had been living with her whole life, told everyone that the girl had died and everyone believed it. They even had a fake funeral for her. I don't know much about it, but that's what I do know.
Here's a doozy from college years ago. This attention whore of a woman tried to convince all her friends that she not only received a baboon's heart as a transplant, but then proceeded to win a marathon thereafter. Like, WTF?
Terminal gingivitis.
We had a girl fake asthma for years. She then became a smoker, so a couple faked mental health beep like anxiety, depression, panic attacks and tics. My personal favorite is this one guy faked having a record label sign him even though he was 12 and he would leave class on fake phone calls with his producers, lol.
Faking ADHD. In front of a teacher assistant who had it.
I had 2 friends in high school who faked Tourette's for attention. Their tics were exactly the same and they both magically outgrew it in a matter of months.
I knew a girl in high school who spent about half an hour lecturing me about creepypasta so that I would understand what she meant when she said Jeff the Killer was an alter of hers. I think she was hoping I'd be more impressed than I was.
Influencers and celebrities faking drama, fights, and relationships for views, and their fans believing them 1,000,000%.
In 8th grade, a girl faked Tourette's for about 2 weeks.
There's a woman I work with that is a chronic liar. Normally the stuff she makes up are about how she was a world-renowned ex. So far she's been an opera singer, competitive swimmer, prodigal child, teacher in Mexico, doesn't speak a word of Spanish, Mensa member, coked-out drag queen, figure skater, and has just a ton of obscure diseases. The diseases obviously prevent her from being able to do certain things around the office, but luckily never interfere with her ability to go out to her car to smoke on break. What sticks out was telling everyone she was pregnant and later on that she miscarried. That one sticks out because it happened while another woman in the office was pregnant and getting more attention. Currently a good friend of this person who also works with us is pretending to use a cane in order to try and get FMLA and evade certain responsibilities. Which is not boring, if anything else. Luckily for her, despite not being able to walk 5 feet to check in stuff, she's also still able to make the journey out to her car and smoke on her breaks.
In high school, this kid passed away in a car accident. I didn't really know him but was tight with his older brother. The sheer amount of people who never associated with him that came out of the woodwork was beep crazy. Like the guy was really into riding dirt bikes and any X Games types of hobbies, skating, BMX, snowboarding, and actively talked beep on a couple of regular sports jocks. But apparently they were best friends when nobody, not even his brother, knew they were. His brother just kinda eye-rolled them to their face and talked mad beep with us later on. It was really pathetic to take one family's pain and try to get attention with it.
My friend who I cut off, pretended, A, he had DID, B, that his mom was dead. Both of which turned out to be false, and even to this day I remember her face when she came to back to school night only to find out her son had told everyone she was dead. I can only imagine what she felt.
Mental illness. Whoever doing this must don't really know how people with real illnesses are struggling.
Pregnancy. Like 11 billion times.
This girl in high school shaved her hair and eyebrows and told everyone she was dying of cancer.
A whole-ass relationship followed by a melodramatic breakup.
Prom night dumpster babies.
Mental illness.
I killed a man, AMA.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more quality content every day.